All right, welcome, welcome. Oops, I'm showing you the goods before I even start. All right, welcome, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are other mediums in which you can watch this or listen to this content. All right, so it is Sunday. There, there's no easy answer about did we get an answer for the Kurdistan oil issue. Okay, so we'll go through that. But I do want to say thank you for the likes, the thumbs up, um, and the comments. You guys leave good comments that make me think. Which you don't know. I could think for 2 hours on something. Okay, that's crazy. I know, but all right. Anyway, so I wanted to say that I don't know if people like their names being called. Plus, right now, I couldn't even tell you who the commenter was. It's hard enough for me to remember what the comment was. But, yeah. So, anyway, just thank you. You guys are awesome. Okay. The About 11 minutes and 11 seconds, a little icon's going to pop up. You could just tap that and you can subscribe if you want. It makes it very easy to subscribe. Oh, the best way to receive the content, in my opinion, is on the blog. And you know what? I forgot something. I'm going to pause here and add it. Well, I can't add it, which is why I didn't put it there to begin with. It's nothing secretive or anything. It's just the background is black and there's things that move. And so I don't, you know me, I don't have the technical capabilities to copy something like that, but I'll show you that and I'll have a link to it. Or is it in there? Yeah, no, it's cut off from the recording. But anyway, so this is going to be a short one as long as I don't ramble on. About 20 minutes, okay? So yeah, Spotify.com. Spotify.com users, you should look into, if you pay to use Spotify, you should look into perhaps buying some shares of their stock. It's doing really well and they don't you could do, of course, do your research. Why would you listen to me when I'm broke, right? But I watch the stock market. I've been watching the stock market. There was a time when life was better for me. No, when I was married, money was better. Things happen in life. But yeah, I did pretty good. But yeah, so Spotify, it's not like overnight. It's one of those ones you hold and watch, but they just happened to be talking about it on Friday on one of the shows that I like. And I said, I'm going to tell them. They don't even know. All right. Yeah. So I can't, we might be spot. I don't know. But you can, Yahoo Finance is good for free stock research. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so RSS.com is where you can get a pretty good transcript. And rumble.com, and those places I am my FX buddies. All right, so the blog is parked at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, but that's too much to remember or to type in. So wherever you are watching or listening to this, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, open, something like that. And if you click on that, or whatever, then another box opens and it'll have a link to the blog, the free blog. You don't even have to put your email address in, and I don't sell anything. It'll just be the articles and the links to the articles. Alrighty. So I don't sell anything there on the blog. All right. I think that's it. All right. So here's what happened. Now, this is the most up-to-date article I could find. It's actually dated June 30th, which for me is tomorrow, because I'm somewhere in the future and I look much better than I look right now, right? Yeah, someone knows who that is. But so it's the boring title is Erbil Negotiations. So it says will like they didn't happen, right? Will Kurdistan Salaries save it from the grip of the oil conflict? So people were telling me and saying, oh, the salaries are tied to the oil. And I didn't believe that because why would they be? And it's Kurdistan. But I'm believing now. And there's even an article saying something like the salary issue will show the tyranny of the Barzani family in the Kurdish region. And I do believe that. He Daddy Barzani has long been out. He's the head of his party, whatever his party is. But I believe he still runs the country. And it shouldn't be that way, but I bet it is. But anyway, so yeah, maybe that's why it's so hard to get this settled. Plus, there is information in these contracts they don't want the world to see, right? At least not right now. So anyway, yeah, so let's see. Let's make this a little larger. The Baghdad delegation's talks in Erbil, which include Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein, which is important because he is also the deputy prime minister. So he has weight, right? But I still think he has to go back and tell Sadani. This is what we talked about. Anyway, an oil minister, I don't know how to say his name, but he's the oil minister, will begin with a decisive step toward resolving the Kurdish region's employee payroll crisis. The delegation has broad powers to sign a comprehensive agreement addressing the oil and financial disputes. So now I think they did meet. A lot of times they have pre-meetings or they send, I was going to say the flunkies. They may send certain people to the meeting and then they'll go back and relay to them what was talked about. And then they'll come back the next day and say, this is the actual meeting. And then they'll do and say, whatever. So yeah, so this, like I said, this is actually dated tomorrow. But this came out today. And it says Kurdistan employee salaries will be paid within the next 2 days. Well, how do they know that? If they didn't have a meeting and they're not talking about it, how do they know they're going to be paid in the next 2 days? So, see, that's why I think they did have some conversation. And look at this. This is comical. Or listen, whatever. The source told Baghdad today the federal government will pay the salaries of the region's employees within the next 2 days, even before the oil agreement is finalized for humanitarian purposes. Yeah, right. You tired of them protesting, whatever, and making you guys look bad. That's what that is. Then it says, if an oil agreement is reached between Baghdad and Erbil, the audit and accounting department of the federal, which is Baghdad, Ministry of Finance will review the lists sent by the regional Ministry of Finance and within days will release the June salaries. So we got a ways. We got a ways to go, a couple of days, right? And then here's another article. What are Baghdad's demands from Erbil? So this is just from a Baghdad perspective. Most of the other articles are from the Kurdish perspective, right? So to resolve oil and financial disputes. And the same thing they claim, right? Demand for foreign companies provide guarantees for payment. International arbitration. Yeah. And one more. The Kurdistan Union explains the reasons for the salary crisis in the region. So this guy is he's part of their government, but he's not a Barzani or a Talibani, right? Ziad Jabbar. So I guess they have him speaking to the people, trying to calm them down. So you could read that if you like. Oh, and one more. Baghdad agrees to pay salaries to Kurdistan region employees under temporary understandings. That's scary too, right? You send out some money and then they claw it back. No, thank you. But it pretty much says the same thing if you read that. It even uses the phrase humanitarian purposes. But that's what I think. I think they use that guy to speak directly to the people, and he's not one of the ruling party family members. All right, here's another award that one of the banks won. Ali, I don't know, Bank of Iraq won fastest growing bank 2025 award. So if you'd like to read that, you can. The article is there. This honor reflects the bank's success in achieving an increase in its total revenues and a rise in its net profits, which confirms its sound financial strategies and risk management. And all I can say is if I'm a citizen, I'm like, what do they do to get so much money, right? What are they doing to make their profits rise? But, that's how banking is, right? And then look at this. They mentioned the Temenos T24 system. So, yeah, so they're pretty up to date there. All right. And so the guy, I guess, who gets to accept the award says winning this prestigious award reflects the collective effort and meticulous planning we have adopted over recent years. We have worked to build a strong foundation for corporate banking supported by strong financial performance, blah, 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 blah. If you want to read all of that, it's there. Okay, so there was a meetings. There were so many meetings on top of meetings on top of meetings. So this is the framework, but I don't know if this is the right picture or just a picture they threw up there because there's another article that has less detail. That's why I didn't use it. And they have a different picture, and one of the guys is falling asleep. Either he's looking at his cell phone or he's falling asleep. One of the two. And I started to use that just to point that out, but I said, now, Tish, be better than that. So yeah, they're just talking about the elections, and there's stuff about the elections, but who cares? Hopefully we won't be here. Here's my one commercial. Buy me a coffee. That will be a live link when the blog is live, or you could bless my Cash App. $ Tishwash. T as in Tom, I S as in Sam H, WASH. Big or small, I appreciate it all. Oh, there's lots of space there. I wonder why. So, oh yeah, this article gave me a hard time because of this stupid document, which I'm going to try to translate. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, so I think I'll be able to translate it. But more people are complaining. Come on, Sudani. 6 months into the year, the Parliamentary Finance Committee calls on Sudani to expedite the 2025 budget schedules. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Maybe after, well, what, July 10th, right? I was going to say after, I mean, I'm saying that's not going to happen. He's not going to move on their command, right? They're trying, though. Let me tell you. There's 1 or 2 articles every day about someone telling him to move it. But yeah, so July 10th, from everything that I can see, July 10th is still the next day. That's my phone. Oh, yes, and by the way, if you have my phone number, please send me a text and say who you are. Don't just send me a text because I still won't know who you are because my contacts got wiped out. And it's my fault. It's my fault. Totally. I'm hard-headed. You know me. But once I get everyone back in, I will back up my contacts like a responsible adult would. Because this is a pain in the you know what. All right. Thank you. So, let's see. Yep. That's that about the budget, but I am curious to see what this document says because look, it has gold foil, it's got a stamp, some red writing, so clearly it's official, right? All right, and then here's another one. Parliamentary Finance Committee. The delay in the budget schedules is unjustified, and the government is ignoring our communications. Yeah, I think he is. I think he is. All right, and so here's just some really quick. This is about their neighbor's stock market. It says the markets are under pressure, and look at all this red. See all that? But I'm like, what kind of phone is that? How modern are they? If you can't see it, I apologize. It just, um, I don't know. It seems like a setup picture. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like like it was random. But that's my phone again. All right. So, the dollar jumps and the stock market plummets. Yeah, but they're working on that. They're working on that. Oh, and the parallel market rate, it got down to 1402. 1402.5. So that's 1402.5 dinars per dollar. So I'm anxious to see what it's going to open at tomorrow morning. I mean, it could go below 1400. It could go back to 1390. So that's what I'm hoping. And there is a holiday taking place. It's Ashura, and ooh, I do not understand what they are doing at all. But there's a lot of them there, a ton of people. So like they didn't even say, here's our security plan to keep the visitors for Ashura safe. It's none of that. I didn't see any of those articles, so I guess it's not really huge, even though there seems to be a lot of people involved in it. But anyway, so the only reason I'm mentioning that is I always I don't see them changing the rate when there's possibly thousands to hundreds of thousands of people from other countries in the country. So I'm trying to see when this holiday ends, and if then that could be uh, the trigger. I hate to say that, but I have to find another word for that. That could make the parallel market go under 1400. All right, and now this I think is hilarious. We are ready. This is Pashishkian Masoud Pashishkian. Finally, I know how to say his name. At least that's how they say it on the news in Baghdad. We are ready for comprehensive cooperation and to open a new page with the Gulf states. But who runs the Gulf states? Some of them, anyway. We do. We run Iraq. We run Kurdistan. We run Syria. Libya. There's one other one. And if I know that, I know he knows that. So what is he really saying? I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. All right. And then for some reason they have an article about Swift. And well, if you know what Swift is, then there's nothing new here. Well, okay. They're saying that Washington uses SWIFT as a weapon for blackmailing countries and strangling Iraq. Okay, we know that. It's not, we're not supposed to say that, but it, that has been happening. But if you are new and you don't know what SWIFT is, you might want to read this article because they do a good job of explaining SWIFT and the intended purpose for it. It has shifted a bit. All right. And also yesterday or maybe today, the BIS, totally not related to the RV, but I know some people may like to go check that out. They put out their annual report. So you could probably go Bank of International Settlements, recent report for 2025, annual report for 2025. If you search that, it'll probably come up if you want to read it. All right, so the thing that I came across, I think that's the last article. Yeah, that's the last article. But um, this. So this is shoot, I can't see the website, but I'm gonna put a link. What I'll do is I don't even know what this is. If it's a website or like a group, like a Reddit thing. It says Binance Square right here. Let's see if I can get it that way. No. Anyway, oh wait. There it is. Little tiny. Nope, it's cut out. But so it does have something to do with Binance. But I'm going to put the link. What I'll do is I'll take this first sentence here and make it a hyperlink to this because I know some people are going to want to go read this. Okay, so what caught my eye was denarii. They couldn't find another name for this. So Gemini, I do know who Gemini is. Gemini launches tokenized stock trading, which that's scary, right? But that's where we're headed. They want to tokenize everything. Tokenized stock trading in the EU with denarii. So it must be a company already in existence, but it's a play. Well, the word denarii is in the Bible. So it's not like it's new. It's been around since like forever, right? So it says crypto exchange and then it says hashtag. So that's another thing that's got me not worried. I'm not worried, but it's like they're just doing this to get people who follow Dinar, right? So see how they have the hashtag in front of it? So if you do a search or SEO, anything SEO, that is going to come up, right? If enough eyes get on this, Dinar will come up because it says Denarii. But so Gemini has partnered with this Denarii, which I think maybe is a group or a business, to introduce tokenized stock trading for European users, starting with shares of MicroStrategy. If you know who that is, it makes sense, right? Customers can now buy MicroStrategy on Gemini and transfer it on chain. The platform plans to expand the offering to include more tokenized stocks and ETFs soon. So, see, they're like using Dinar to sucker people to not to sucker you to do that, to participate. Because actually, I'm not in Europe either, but it sounds like something to take a little bit of a risk, right? I mean, MicroStrategy, he's pretty, uh, what do they say, forward thinking? So, yeah, so if you want to see that. But actually, if you are watching this right now, you've seen the whole article, but you don't have the link. So, whatever, I don't even want to say that because but anyway, all right. So yeah, that is it. So thank you for listening. Where's my? We'll get back to this, and let's see what this week brings. Which I don't think is going to be much because it's too close to the 4th of July. Anything they do this week is close to our 4th of July holiday. So yeah, but that's me. I'm out there on my own as usual. So but I will be watching and updating accordingly. I'm pretty sure there'll be enough of something tomorrow to update, but if not, that's why you should follow, subscribe, join, whatever the prompt is where you are right now, whatever website you're on, because I don't update regularly. So when I do, if all things work as they're supposed to, then you'll be notified, right? Um, Mm, 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 mm. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. And live your life. Live like this is never going to happen, but be ready for it to happen tomorrow. Because it could, right? All right. Yeah, that's it. So again, thank you for the thumbs up, and I appreciate everyone who has supported. Really, I got to go to a store that I love to go to. Okay, you can hang up people who don't like to hear nonsense, because this is nonsense. But um, it's the abbreviations are TJ, and my favorite salad they have there is broccoli slaw salad, $4.99, and holding. It's been $4.99, and it's just as good. It's just as full because I was like thinking there it's probably going to be half air and not there'll be less chicken in it, but nope, it's yeah. So but my point is, some people are like, oh, I can only send you $5. I'm like, you don't even know $5 will buy me a $4.99 salad. But anyway, I missed that store. That was my favorite store to shop at. All right. Anyway, so thanks for listening. I am done now. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.